Okay, do y'all remember when Wendy Williams said,
plotative individual. I will plot on you. That's right. And that's why I'm going into season 11. And he's changing Pampers.
well, her ex-husband Kevin Hunter has learned that the hard way because Wendy got so sick and tired of his BS and she played him and his boo, Sharina. And she played them hard and now they are begging for her mercy. Word on the street is that Wendy Williams' ex-husband Kevin Hunter and his boo thang Sharina Hudson are broke. And it's all because of Wendy. Now, before y'all call Wendy the bitter ex or anything like that, let me explain. So Kevin started dating Sharina around 2007 when he was already married to Wendy. So he was cheating on Wendy with Sharina. And if that wasn't bad enough, he was spending Wendy's money on Sharina because we all know that Kevin don't really have his own money. He got Sharina a house worth $765,000. And it was only 9 miles away from the house that he shared with Wendy.
And I read about it in the blogs and the tabloids, the address of this place that he had purchased to share with this backwoods 9 miles from my house in Livingston. And they're living the high life.
Child, if that ain't foul. At the time, Wendy knew about the affair, but she chose to stay with Kevin as long as he didn't have kids outside their marriage. Listen, I will never understand that. But anyways, insiders claim that the only reason Kevin didn't leave Wendy was that he knew that him and Sharina needed her money to survive. Well, that didn't last very long because he got Sharina pregnant and they had a baby girl. This was the last straw for Wendy because if there was one thing that she could not stand, it was Kevin humiliating her by having a baby on her. So she could turn a blind eye to the cheating. But she was not willing to play stepmother to his love child. So she filed for divorce in April of 2019. The divorce proceedings kind of confirmed what people have been saying about Kevin, which is that he's a gold digger who was only after Wendy's money from the very start. This is because he requested alimony and child support from Wendy. He was clowned big time for asking for child support when he and Wendy's son was no longer a minor. He was just exploring all ways that he could possibly take money from Wendy, as we can see. The child support request was denied by the court for obvious reasons, but he and Wendy came to an agreement that she would pay him a certain amount of money in alimony. We don't know how much it is exactly, but it has to be a sizable amount of money because Kevin doesn't really work anymore, and that is how he's able to take care of his new family and help his boo Sharina open several businesses. Now, Kevin and Sharina were all fine when Wendy and Kevin got divorced because, you know, they still had Wendy's money coming in to live a comfortable life. But now that Wendy's money stopped coming in because her show got canceled, both Kevin and Sharina are panicking because what else would they do besides leash off of Wendy's money? But you see, the first time Wendy played him was when she served him divorce papers. Kevin said, when the news was out, I told her I would step down from the show and Wendy told me I needed to stay because I was having a kid. I stayed only to later be lined up. I got fired from management, served divorce papers, and also fired from the show all in the same day.
You know, I don't recommend that you work with your husband because I made him my manager. And then when I decided to divorce him, he had to be fired. In other words, I made him divorced and unemployed all in one day.
Wendy is petty AF and I am here for it. But anyways, in a recent interview, Kevin said, as the husband of 20 plus years and the creator of the Wendy Williams show, I was entitled to my half of everything that we had, just like any other couple divorcing. I went to the table in good faith and we reached what I thought was an amicable divorce. In fact, it was one of the fastest celebrity divorces ever. I had a feeling that Wendy's Wells Fargo advisor was up to no good, but I was advised by my attorneys that everything was okay. Well, he should have listened to his intuition because it turns out that Wendy played him big time and he never saw it coming. He was probably in such a hurry to sign the agreement and start getting money that he probably forgot to read the fine print in the agreement that stated that Wendy didn't have to pay him if she was no longer working. And as we know, Wendy has not been working for more than a year now. She was absent during the entire last season of the Wendy Williams show because she was struggling with a whole lot of physical and mental sickness. She had complications from Graves' disease, had COVID, had to go to a psychiatric clinic for her mental health. It was just a lot. Her show was eventually canceled after weeks of deliberation and speculation. And what this means is that Wendy no longer has a source of income from the show. She has not been on any other show since and hasn't had any other source of income. So her financial contractual people stopped the payments to Kevin. Well, Kevin being Kevin was super angry and entitled, saying, Wendy was in rehab and these people just stopped depositing my money cold turkey. Now I'm demanding to see all the bank records from the time of the divorce until now, and that will show what really is going on. These people have tried to starve me out. At the end of the day, I earned that money and I'm not letting them take it. I will only say for now that it breaks my heart to see what is happening to her. I know she is not in a good place and she is surrounded by people who are taking advantage of her condition, including this so-called guardianship. Listen, I don't know about y'all, but this makes it even more obvious to me that he does not care about Wendy at all. It is all about that cold, hard cash. The payment stopped in February 2022 and Kevin is desperate. The agreement that he signed was signed in January 2020, and it says, if for any reason plaintiff's contract, plaintiff being Wendy, with Talk Wendy Williams is not renewed and or is otherwise suspended, canceled, or terminated, and plaintiff does not have any other television show being aired and paying her an equivalent salary, defendant, aka Kevin, understands and agrees that all severance payments shall be subject to either termination or modification. So what this means is that she kept paying the alimony for almost a year when she wasn't making money. She was absent from the show for months, and if she didn't get compensation for her absence, she didn't owe Kevin a single cent. She kept paying him until February 2022. If you ask me, that was super generous of her. Well, it sounds like Kevin and his new woman need to get a job, okay? They need to get jobs because Wendy ATM has stopped coughing up money. I can't even imagine her having to pay him when she wasn't working or making money. Like, she played her cards right, honestly, and it's working really well for her. Kevin is trying to take this matter to the court, but it's highly unlikely that he's gonna get a favorable judgment because they had the agreement and Wendy is sticking to the agreement. Like, getting played by Wendy is not embarrassing enough. Kevin is now out here claiming that he's broke because he and Sharina both depend on the alimony payments from Wendy to survive. He said, I have fallen behind on my bills. I currently live in a community that requires payments to the homeowners association and I'm behind on that bill. If the homeowners association fees are not paid, foreclosure will soon follow. My car insurance hasn't been paid as a result of not receiving my monthly severance payments. He continued, I'm behind on credit card payments because I have no money since the severance payments were suspended. My life has been greatly affected since the plaintiff stopped making payments under our settlement agreement. The fact that I am unable to sustain my life and pay my bills is extremely urgent to me. I cannot pay my bills and sustain my day-to-day living. He also claims that he needs hip surgery, but he can afford that without insurance, which he also can't afford because he isn't getting paid his alimony. I know I've said this a million times already, but he needs to get a job. It's really wild to me that he hasn't worked since he got a divorce, especially since he claims that he is the brains behind the success of the Wendy Williams show. Like, bro, okay, so be a success on another show. Hello, if that's what happened. Seeing how impressive his resume is, he could instantly jump back into show business, right? Honestly, somebody with his background, it should be really easy to get another job. But instead, he chose to live off of Wendy, and she played him big time. And I don't think that's her fault. She gave you more than enough time, sir, to get your life, to get you and your girl and your baby's life. You had all the time in the world to get you and your family's life. I'm sorry. What are we arguing about? Like, if he thought he was going to get sympathy, he is in for a rude awakening because people are not here for it. There are so many comments online saying things like, Wendy is masterclass. She dog walked him, LMAO. All of this was amazingly strategized. Wendy outsmarted him. Kevin and his mistress need to get jobs. His mistress should pawn her big diamond ring so he can pay their bills. He did Wendy dirty and now he will reap what he sowed. And Wendy says she always had a plan. Now it makes sense why she let the show go down like it did. Wendy is the queen of pettiness. Oh my goodness, and I am living for her drama. But if you want some next level chaotic drama, you gotta check out this next video. It's your girl Kiki with the hottest tea. Peace.